Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show where a man completely immersed in anime culture torments his co-host, who is only allowed to watch the shows featured here. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/animeoutofcontext. Alongside over 100 hours of exclusive bonus material, all episodes uploaded to Patreon are completely ad-free, even to non-patrons. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I'm the representative humanity is sent to save us from the gods.
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
You seem to be glazing yourself up a little bit there, bud.
Oh, I didn't say I was a good representative, Shaun. We are fucked.
You just happen to be the one that they chose.
I nominated myself as a candidate as a joke. I was selected, and now, Poseidon is going to fist the life out of me. Is that how we can open a podcast? Can we talk about Poseidon fisting the life out of me in the first minute of the podcast?
I mean, it's certainly not the worst way we've started a podcast. Like, I feel like we've had several worse starts. And if anything, people joining us for the first time will be like, I see what I'm signing up for.
And if you want Poseidon to fist the life out of you, simply email.
No, you son of a bitch. Don't make me change the anime last minute.
What's the anime? What are we doing this week, Shaun?
Well, last week I gave you something that you really, really wanted to like, but unfortunately it was delivered to you in the most unfortunate way possible.
Yes.
So this week I'm going to give you something completely different.
So now it's something I know I won't like from the get-go.
I mean, we don't know that for certain, Rem.
Okay.
Part of what I'm doing is both kind of a listener request, but also I feel like the listeners who requested it might be upset with me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because Rem, in our Patreon reads, and we know not everybody sticks around for those, but if you do, hey, thank you. But if you do, you'll notice that sometimes we get a bunch of people who spam their recommendations of what they really, really want.
Oh my god, and you're finally listening to the people who give us money?
Sometimes I am. But not in the way they want, unfortunately.
Oh, brutal.
Because, Rem, I'm sure you've noticed, we've been getting a lot of requests for BanG Dream recently.
Yes.
Specifically, BanG Dream My Go. It's My Go.
Ave Mujica.
Yes. And by all accounts, BanG Dream It's My Go is the thing that everybody wanted us to cover.
Okay, how are you about to disappoint the people, Shaun?
Well, Rep, because I made a little mistake when I started researching, because I loosely knew about BanG Dream. Like, it had came across my purview over the years, but I never gave it too much attention because it wasn't really my go-to kind of genre.
My god.
So I started watching from the very beginning. So BanG Dream It's My Go is a very beloved spin-off of the BanG Dream franchise.
Okay, so it's not the original.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I can't just show him BanG Dream It's My Go without at least walking him through the original first. So this week, Remington, we are going to be watching the original BanG Dream from 2017.
All right. I don't like the name BanG Dream, especially when isolated from other words. Like, BanG Dream It's My Go, Ave Mujica, I'm just like, yeah, this is a jumble of words I can't make much sense in. But when it's just BanG Dream, I'm like, I don't know about that, man.
Does it make you feel better if this is exactly how it's spelled? With the capitalization, I double tapped it, but that's fine. With capitalization and an exclamation mark at the end.
It doesn't do anything for me.
No, you don't like the capital G at the end of BanG? Doesn't really add any extra emphasis for you?
Sometimes they just they get a little bit zany with how they use their cases.
Yeah, but yeah. So BanG Dream, it is. You can probably guess what it is, actually, honestly, or I don't know. Can you? What do you think BanG Dream is, Rem? I want to know. Like, you've been reading the name for weeks, if not months, and I just want to know what you think it is.
Oh God, I don't. Okay, all right. Here's some layers. All right.
Okay.
From the title alone, it sounds like porn. Now, I don't think, using context clues, I don't think that it's porn.
You don't think I'm gonna show you porn on the podcast, Rem?
Okay, it has a spin-off. Bang Dream. Okay, I'm imagining big poppy letters, right? It's not going to be a fighting shonen. I don't think it's that kind of bang.
No. Nor the other kind of bang, as we've discussed.
It's not a sexual bang. It's not a punching bang. Bang Dream. And then like even combined if there's a spin-off, where's there often spin-offs? And my mind thinks of what was the extremely popular? I don't think it was the one with Nico Ni, but it was K-On!
K-On, yep.
I think it's K-On!
You just think
I think it's K-On, but like maybe a bit more like a bit more poppy and energetic. Maybe even a little bit memey or something. I don't know. But like I'm imagining like Bang Dream and like the exclamation marks. It's just like that's probably it's their band name maybe. That's a bad band name, but maybe. And then it's gonna be some like weird magical girl nonsense.
Oh, okay. Well, I was about to give you credit, but then you just you went too far. You went too far, Rem. Bang Dream is a show about a young girl by the name of Kasumi Toyama, who wants to, be in a band. Go figure. And it's her putting together a band with some friends that she makes, and it is K-On! Coded, let's say. And the question is, does it do what K-On! Does? More so, does it do what Love Live does? And that's the one with Nico, if you recall. Because it's been a while since we've done a show like this. K-On! Being like the peak, and Love Live being kind of like your neutral for the genre. And, I figured, since they want this very specific version of this franchise, might as well start from the beginning just to see if we can at least dip our toes into things a little bit. Rem, we've covered a lot of things on this show, and we've covered a lot of adaptations of very different things, but I don't know if we've covered an adaptation quite like this.
Yeah?
Because, Rem, this isn't a manga adaptation.
Is it an adaptation from an actual band and like their music videos?
It is not, unfortunately.
Oh, damn. I thought I had seen Through the Matrix.
I mean, that does exist. Like, whether anime or not, I have seen things like that. But no, it's an adaptation. And I mean, this is going to be a very short part one, because I think we're just going to go straight into it afterwards, because I don't know what more you could want to know about it. But hey, Rem, this is a 13-episode adaptation, and it got, I think, 3 seasons in a movie, plus all the spin-offs.
God damn.
Of a mobile rhythm game.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I think without further ado...
Oh, fuck. Fucking
let's go watch the original Bang Dream and see what all the hype is about. And we are back after watching the first 4 episodes of 2017's Bang Dream, the illustrious start to quite the franchise. And Remington, did it give you that fun idol feel that you were hoping for with the light music and the rock and the roll and the excitement?
It's a fun, charming, cute girls doing cute things style anime. It's that about sums it up, if I'm being honest. Don't worry, we'll still fill the time. Don't worry, weebs. You see how long this episode is, even though I've basically said most of what I need to.
So, as your co-host, Rem, that sentence terrifies me. Because, I thought, riffing on, the deep intricacies of this very popular franchise would, take a decent chunk of an episode.
No, look, Shaun, it's fun sometimes to have fun on a playground or a play place or in the kiddie pool, right? But it is ultimately a shallow experience. And that's not terrible all the time, but it is,
my God,
notable.
Oh my.
What? It's just how not every show needs depth. I tend to enjoy it, but it's okay for a show not to have a ton of it. And it's fine. It's fine.
So you're telling me that this show that was loosely based off of a mobile game isn't the most deep, well thought out first season of a show out there?
All things considered, like the fact that it's based on a mobile game, hey, they created a genuine product out of it. But at the same time, you can tell It's not like they were like, oh, this is a story that needs to be told. No, it was like, hey, let's make a show out of this. Let's hit the marks. All right, we did it. Let's break it down and touch on why I feel the way I do.
Okay.
First of all, we open up episode 1 with Katsumi. She wakes up. She's getting ready to go to school. She's very positive, very hardworking, all this stuff. This is gonna sound crazy, right? For the actual tone of the show.
All right.
But Bang Dream has like the exact opening you would do if you're introducing a faux protagonist that dies brutally at the end of the first episode.
so fucking a fucking zombie live experience.
Yeah, genuinely, like, Shaun,
yeah,
we have the power of editing, so Dylan can cut a few minutes out. I want you to pull up the first episode of Bang Dream right now.
Okay, yeah, sure. Definitely not recording the second half of this episode late, and people aren't definitely not making fun of us consistently for it. Especially me, even though it's not my fault.
I don't know, maybe it's your fault. Maybe my message was doctored.
You're just lucky I didn't expose our DMs. Our DMs were far more embarrassing for you. If I showed my DMs, they'd be like, "Oh man, this motherfucker didn't even."
All right, just pull up the first episode of Bang Dream.
All right, I have it up.
Watch the first 2.5 minutes or so.
Okay, I didn't need to pull up the episode for this, Rem. I could have told you, no, you were right. Because that is...
It's just such a very specific vibe that it captures perfectly, because, Kasumi is sort of presented as, she's charming, she's super hardworking, very clear goals, while at the same time being one-dimensional enough where it doesn't feel like you're investing into a main character. Right? It doesn't... It feels enough like that, but it feels like the illusion of that more than that.
They're building off of tropes that they've set up years previously, but are only just... but they're like, man, we've distilled this to the perfect idol show opening. Let's just do it. And I think I misnamed the show I was thinking of. I meant to say Zombieland Saga, just so people don't yell at me.
Okay, yeah. But it's just... It hits all of the tropes in the right way, but in a way that's yeah, this could be a normal show, or it could be pretending to be a normal show for something subversive. Now, it is the most normal of shows, to be clear.
Quite frankly, I expected her to get hit by the train she walks by.
Yeah, it's almost uncanny in that way. Mm-hmm. It's just... And for some people, they'll be like, that's a crazy thing to say about it. For others, they're going to be like, you know what? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, if you were to watch this and then watch the first 2 minutes of Zombieland Saga, you would be like, oh, I see what these boys are talking about. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she goes to school. She meets Saya. We see a little bit of Remy. There's a club montage, some stuff about the little sister, but I don't know if the little sister, how relevant she is, because she's not in the opening band. So I don't...
I mean, she's the main character's sister, so there's that level of relevance, but it is...
It felt like it felt like they were introducing her so that she could be a part of the band, but then we see the opening at the end of the first episode, and it's oh, she's not relevant.
Well, I mean, not to the first 4 episodes, at least. I mean, the show has 3 seasons in the movies, so,
Which is a lot. Look.
And that's not talking about the spinoff.
Yeah, this has 3 seasons in a movie for... This is just the equivalent of most 90s cartoons, all right? And look, yeah, that's what we grew up with, but at the same time, the vast majority were soulless cash grabs. They only existed to sell toys. And that doesn't mean they were all bad. They had some entertainment value, otherwise they wouldn't sell the toys, you see.
And I mean, the best ones sold the most toys. I mean, look at the fucking Transformers line.
Yeah, but there was a lot of soulless slop that just existed for toys, and I'm not going to say that Bang Dream is completely soulless, right? But I am going to say that its main priority is not characters or story or art or any of that. None of those are the number one priority here.
Interesting.
And And, perhaps they don't need to be. But eventually Kasumi meets a girl, Arisa, who's a bit sassier and has a star guitar, and Kasumi fucking loves stars. She is obsessed with stars. Which, hey, relatable.
Just call her the nemesis of the moe anime world.
I don't...
That is a reference you would not get. I am sorry. I left the Remington space, and I'm sorry.
Sometimes you make an inside joke with the weebs.
Okay, in fairness, this was more of an inside joke with the gamers, because you've clearly never played a Resident Evil game.
It's true. I haven't. Eventually, Kasumi and Arisa just sort of show up to a concert, and this girl band Glitter Green performs, and Kasumi loves it and falls even more in love with music. She wants to start a band, right? And she's like, hey Saya, hey Remy, want to join a band? And they're just like, yeah, sure. I liked how it was just so quick getting the band together, because I'm not a huge fan of
long drawn out
taking 5 episodes just to get the band together in the same formulaic way. So I was like, oh, this is lovely, just being like, hey, let's do it, why not? But no, it does. Unfortunately, despite a bunch of people saying yes, right, we do then have to get the band together one by one for some reason. Including the people who said yes. Like, episode 2, Remy, who's just a bit on the shy end, is like, yeah, I'll join the band. In episode 3, she's like, hey, actually, I'm not going to join the band. And then by the end of episode 3, she's like, yeah, I'll join the band. Which is just not super necessary. Especially when I wrote in my notes, I was like, oh, thank goodness we're not doing this. And then it does it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, look, if you're expecting a single ounce of subversion in this show, you're going to be so disappointed. It's playing it by numbers, all right? Just hitting the beats.
Well, I mean, I can tell you one thing. There is one thing that this show does that is completely subversive, and I don't think I've really seen much before.
I have no idea what this could be.
You don't, because it starts with the second season. Out of curiosity, Rem, how did you feel about like the way the show looked in general? Any major complaints? Any major positives you can think of, or any complaints?
Not real. I don't know. It looked like everything else.
Okay, so really, what you're saying is it needed a change.
I would prefer a bit of style in there because of my personal preferences.
Well, how about this then, Rem? After the first season finished and everything after the first season, they're like, you know what? This 2D animation shit is hard. Everything else is 3D CG anime.
Wow. Okay.
So
why?
You know,
like they dabble in CG, which is like it's not great, but it's fine.
It's about on par for like the mid 2015 era. It's probably a few years out of date for like 2017, but it's about on par with like the Time era.
And so they just, all right. So
they gave it to, because it was put together by 2 studios for that first season. And then they just were like, fuck those guys. Let's give it to a completely different studio. And they're like, yeah, we can do more of the actual music performance animation if we just fully commit to the CG thing.
Don't you love cost cutting?
Oh, I'm not going to say it was cost cutting, Rem, because I didn't look that deeply into it. But I will say the most beloved season of the show was the spinoff that is entirely CG as well. So
Jesus Christ. All right. That's crazy.
So really, if you're looking for subversion, we just got to get through 3 seasons in a movie, or just skip all the way to the one that people really wanted us to talk about. Though I have recently learned there are quite a few fans of this show as well. Like from season 1 all the way to the transition to season 3 in the movie.
Well, and look, this show is fine. It's just nothing. It's if this is your favorite sort of subgenre of anime and of cute girls doing cute things, yeah, sure, add it to the list, I guess.
Cute girls playing cute songs.
Yeah, I don't... Asterisk, it does have possibly a contender for one of the worst, or at least most cringeworthy scenes in any anime I have ever seen. We'll get to that.
I think I know
it is. There is a genuine black hole of cringe in one of the episodes, and we'll get there. So, continuing on, episode 2, Kasumi wants to start a band, asks others, and is like, hell yeah. Helps out Arisa so that eventually they become close, and Arisa gives the fancy, expensive guitar to Kasumi, and they have a practice room. But then, oh no, Remy doesn't want to join the band, and so episode 3 they have to figure that out, and it turns out she has stage fright, which is also just like a forced. You always need one character to have stage fright and need to learn to overcome stage fright. That's a requirement.
I mean, at least at least with K-On, they did it really fucking quick, and the characters had a lot of charm and personality, so that it didn't feel bad.
Yeah. And Kasumi is trying to figure out what's up with Remy for a lot of this episode. Also, one thing to note about Kasumi, so she's bubbly, a bit naive, a bit dumb. Hey, and as a dumb bitch myself, real recognize real. But also Kasumi is what I would call the lesbian's nightmare, right? Because
and you're an expert for seeking that, yeah.
Of course. And because her behavior gives every indication of being like super into the other girls, but that's actually just how Kasumi views friendship, right?
Yes.
She's just super touchy-feely, affectionate, and gives every indication of being romantically super into you. But also, I think what would happen is if you addressed it, Kasumi would be so confused and bewildered and would have no idea that she was doing that. So if any of her friends were lesbians, they would have no idea what the fuck to do.
Well, hey, man, let me just tell you right now, according to the fan base, all of them are, basically.
Well, of course, because you have to ship someone, and if there's only women, you're going to ship the women with the women. That, like, those are the only interactions that exist. And I can see basically all of the other girls being lesbians. Kasumi, straight as fuck. Kasumi, astonishingly straight, asterisk, might be okay to do some lesbian shit just because she wants to make her friends happy.
No.
Which I don't think is a great dynamic.
No.
I think,
look, if you're gonna kiss the homies, you gotta commit, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I think Kasumi would just like further confuse her poor lesbian friends, right? And they'd be like, well, then why did you kiss me then? And Kasumi would be like, well, because I wanted to make you happy. And they're like, but you ain't a lesbian. And Kasumi's like, yeah, I don't know what's going on, if I'm being honest. But that's a different show with the same characters, but a different show. A
fucking reverse harem show. Or, well, it would still be a harem show. Just, okay.
I want lesbians to chime in, because I think they understand this sort of archetype, and I feel like a lot of lesbians, especially if they knew, like, as teens, and didn't know how to, like, broach the topic sufficiently, at some point had a crush on somebody like Kasumi, and it was a nightmare, because it's like, are they into me, or are they just extremely affectionate?
Yeah. I think I would watch that show, honestly. That could be very funny. Frustrating, but funny.
So at one point there's such a good joke, and it's hardly anything. There's just something about like the intonation. At one point, Remy, some just like people who speak English show up and start talking to Remy, right? Kind of apropos of nothing, and Kasumi, also apropos of nothing, chimes in and sort of helps out the interaction by speaking in English. And it's just like, I'm Kasumi and I'm a guitarist, right? And just in the middle, it's just a random, I don't know what this interaction is, but then it's so fucking funny. The English couple just in unison, what? And that's how the scene ends. Just with the couple being like, what? And that got me good. I don't know why that scene is there, but it got me good. And then Remy talks through her stage fright and all that stuff, right? Kasumi goes to a concert, but Remy's sister, part of Glitter Green, Glitter Green hasn't shown up yet. Oh no. So all the other girl bands do their thing, and it's like, oh, unfortunately Glitter Green won't be performing, so the show is cut a little bit short. But there were like 9 other girl bands performing. So it's like, you know, still a decent show, and you might be disappointed if Glitter Green was your favorite, and it seems like they're the most popular. You might be disappointed, but you got a full show out of it still. I don't know why it wasn't announced before the end, because it seemed very clear. And there was like no communication. But some people are disappointed that like Glitter Green didn't show up, right? Kasumi's like, we need to stall more. And now, so she goes up. People are disappointed because they didn't see, like, we'll assume the headline band, all right?
Okay.
Because otherwise, why would they be so disappointed? Otherwise, why is it important at all? So people were disappointed they didn't get to see their favorite band. Kasumi is like, well, they should be here soon. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to sing. Now, here's the thing. Kasumi, despite owning a guitar now, doesn't know shit about music. So she goes up there and starts just singing a cappella, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Yes. You mean the part I fast forward to when I first watched this?
And it's not just when she sings it, then she starts singing it again.
Yeah.
But then she sings it again, but this time Arisa is playing the castanets, keep rhythm.
The most cringeworthy of percussion instruments.
And then she starts again.
Yeah.
And then she starts again, but this time Remy joins and plays guitar a little bit with it. And then finally, the band shows up. And then the band starts playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and has Kasumi sing it for yet another time. I'm not kidding.
Nope.
It happens like half a dozen times where they just sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And even more cringy is like the audience starts to get into it and they're like, yeah, fucking who needs the headline band? Frankly. Who gives a shit about this? This random starting to sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? Oh, baby. That's the shit.
So, when you've fully inverted due to cringing out of your soul, how did you return?
I don't know if I ever did. I think I might still be in that state. I am still, because oh my god, it's so bad, and it's like the worst of fake Tumblr stories. It's just so cringeworthy, and it's trying to present it in a way that feels so fake and awful and horrendous. It's such a bad scene. It's such a terrible, terrible scene, and it doesn't do much. Why did they have to sing it so many times?
To make sure you really get into it.
They sing Twinkle Twinkle so many the entire half of the episode, the second half of the episode is just Twinkle Twinkle. I'm losing my mind. It's so much, and none of it is good, and I don't know why it exists.
But here's a question.
It's a baffling decision.
Would it have worked in a show that tries to be cringe on purpose?
I don't know, because a lot of the cringe came from it being so earnest about it.
I mean, BanG Dream is nothing if not earnest.
Like, at least 50% of the cringe came from the show being like, isn't this like a really touching moment? And being like, no, it is not. What the fuck? And oh god, I hate it so much. I despise it. I feel uncomfortable with it. One of the worst scenes I've ever seen. If I'm being honest. It's just so awkward and so pointless. Like, the whole point is, I guess, like, the cringe compels Remy to play guitar with them, right? Remy is like, yeah, I'll join too. I'll join the train wreck. I've been inspired. You know what gets me over my stage fright? When I'm witnessing somebody doing the most cringeworthy thing around, and I'm like, I was always afraid that people might find me cringy if I performed. So let's guarantee that. And then we'll be fine.
But Rem, they may be cringe, but they are free.
I hate it so much. I hate it so much. I hate that it lasts fucking 10 minutes of Twinkle Twinkle, and I wish I was exaggerating.
You're not. You're really not.
It also is indicative that, like, they ran out of gas this episode. They ran out of gas at the 12-minute mark. And this was how they fixed it.
And to think, there's still a whole season after that.
In the game, are there just like 7 levels in a row that are all just Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? Like, that's it. Just back to back to back to back. Just nonstop Twinkle Twinkle.
Are you asking me if I went to the extra effort of downloading a fucking idle gacha rhythm game to see how it compares to its anime adaptation?
If the game has 7 levels in a row that are just Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, not very different. Like, one gets a guitar backing track, but other than that, you are doing the same thing. You're hitting the same notes, maybe like one more. If it does that, then sure. Then I will almost allow it, but I'll also then question the game. That's where...
I'm gonna say it right now. Looking at the game in the App Store, I can't tell. I genuinely, if you just showed me this, the stills, apropos of nothing, I would have thought you were just showing me the Love Live game. They look so similar. Because I mean, it's a tap Guitar Hero style game, and I think they play like the performances in the background. It is. They do apparently have 450 original and cover songs on the app, and all members are fully 3D modeled. And for some reason, in one of the splash arts,
that shouldn't be a selling point. That's not like, that's not something wildly incredible, if I'm being honest.
I mean, well, yeah, no, probably not.
Isn't that kind of like, for a game like this, you'd be like, yeah, that's just.
You can also spend money to get the different outfits for them to perform in. I'm gonna tell you right now, dog. It's got a 3.5 in the Google Play Store right now. It is either people fucking love it or people fucking hate it. Like that is, there's not much.
Well, that's
ground.
just either the gacha game has infected you, right, or you're like, wow, this isn't enjoyable. I should play an actual game. Those are the possibilities. That's the reality of any gacha game.
I will also say that the gacha game is called BanG Dream Girls Band Party, which I don't want to like criticize people's naming schemes too much, but I feel like you could have done better. And I'm not gonna say why.
Yeah, so episode 4, Kasumi gets another member to join, meets them, and also learns about guitar. And one thing that is nice, right? Kasumi has no shame, as we've already discussed.
Which is frustrating for the lesbians.
Which is frustrating for the lesbians. But I feel like when learning something new, right, feeling shame or feeling that you aren't good enough and feeling embarrassed about those things, those are some of the biggest reasons why people quit and why they don't make it past the part of learning where you're bad and don't know shit. So Kasumi, it is kind of just nice and inspirational for her to just not give a fuck about any of that and be like, not even be aware that she's bad really, and just excited to learn and get better. Because if you have that mentality, you will grow so much faster, so much more. You will have a greater passion for it, much more consistency. It'll just be better all around. And that's dope. That's nice. There's some interpersonal drama in this episode that doesn't really matter. Once again, very by the numbers. Just, hey, you're spending more time with others than you are me, which always happens. It always happens in these shows where whenever you're getting the band together, right? And this could be an actual band. It could be getting meeting the friends or whatever. But it's always one by one, you're gonna meet the main cast. It's always like, oh yeah, episode 2, they met their new best friend, and then we don't see them much until episode 5 because they have to meet all the others. And so the others just, it's like, hey, we're actually gonna be really close. All right, time to ignore you for an episode or more. And that always feels a bit bad. It always is like, okay, you're kind of a bad person if I'm being honest. But it never presents it that way, but it is kind of that way. Anyway, Shaun, now that I've spent an episode meeting you, I'm going to ignore you.
Okay, hold on.
I'm gonna ignore you for the next few weeks because let's see, I have to meet and befriend Dylan, right?
No, I see.
Of course, Samantha. It's been a while. So it's just, it's gonna be a minute before
we can actually do things together.
Yeah, but you don't worry, you won't really remember, or you'll have like a brief note where you'll be like, hey, you've been ignoring me for a while, and I'll be like, oh, my bad, and you'll be like, okay, and then it'll be fine. So
starting to sound like one of my exes.
Yeah, so it's just kind of this show. Look, it's what it says on the tin and not any bit more. It's exactly what it says on the tin, no more, no less, and that's just how it goes.
Well, Rem, are you at least a little curious for the show that they actually wanted us to cover?
This has not sparked more enthusiasm. But I suppose the fact that they were like, let's skip ahead a bit, right, implies that, at least in their opinion, that is better. So it's somewhat promising.
I will say, like, looking at the mouse scores, BanG Dream It's My Go is the highest rated of the BanG Dream series.
Okay, all right.
Maybe there's a future where it's better. And plus, you got to be at least a little curious how they fully switch to CG and don't completely ruin everything. especially especially
I am
since
concerned about that.
yeah, the CG switch was in 2019, which I will mention is only 3 years after one of the worst CG shows that ever came to anime was put into print. So, like, it's a bold move to switch from, from a style, like a kind of mixed media style where they're trying to figure things out and then fully committing to the full 3D CG thing and hope that people will either, I don't know, not notice or will like it better.
Yeah.
But hey, I think that's worth exploring in the future. But as for the first season of Bang Dream, it's how quickly are you going to forget about this show?
It's going to immediately merge into all of the others of this subgenre.
Oh, you shouldn't do that to K-On! Because K-On! Is special and perfect and wonderful.
I'll be honest, it has largely happened to K-On! The only reason Love Live is at all distinct is because of Nico. Like, that is... You have the entire subgenre blending into one, and then you have a few, like, things that stick out. I'm like, one of them has Nico, in one of them they're zombies. And that's about it! I don't know if I remember any of them.
Oh my Christ.
I just remember, hey, there's Nico. Hey, there's zombies.
Zombieland Saga is still my favorite of those, by the way. Just want to say that and K-On! Obviously. K-On's like a several tiers above, but I love a zombie show. Zombie Idols are my favorite. That's fine. But speaking of scoring, Rem, any guesses on what the first season of Bang Dream's MAL score is?
This is a very hard one, because factoring in, like, gacha game fans, it makes this difficult. I'm gonna say it captured its audience, but I don't think it's pulling in too many, like, new people. So, like, 7.29?
Is that your final answer?
Sure. There's some more uncertainty in this one, but yeah, that's what I'll go with.
Okay. So Bang Dream definitely came out in a time period where there were a lot of shows like this. But it's definitely one of the ones that had a little more staying power. But the OG Bang Dream only has 41,000 ratings.
Okay.
But it's sitting nice and pretty with a 6.99.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
It is just below the layer of acceptability.
Yeah, so genuinely, Rem, I'm looking at the score breakdown. 31.3% of the votes, so 12,000, like just shy of 13,000 votes, give this a 7 out of 10. Literally on either side of it, it is equal. 18.1% for either 8 or 6. So this is the most 7 out of 10 show in its genre.
That doesn't wildly surprise me. I thought it would have a bump from the people who've invested their life savings into it.
Yeah, like from what I can tell...
I thought that would lead to a bump, and it didn't look like it.
As far as gacha games go, my guy, I don't think this is like one of the more egregious ones from what I can tell. Like, it's certainly not like some of the other ones where people have, like, spent hundreds upon hundreds of dollars in. Like, from what I can tell, you are mostly spending dosh on some songs and some outfits, and even then, it doesn't seem like it's forcing you to. I mean, I'm sure it probably is somewhere down the line. I haven't played it. But, like, usually when you look at a gacha game, you can be like, yeah, but all the cool stuff is behind the paywall, and you can very easily tell. Like, I'm not getting that vibe from it. Quite literally, it looks like a anime version of Tap Tap Revolution, and if that comment ages me, then I don't know.
Here's my hot take. I think if it was more egregious, the show would have a higher rating. Just because the more egregious a gacha game is, sure, it'll turn more people off, but the people who get hooked, they'll
be hard in. I mean,
yeah,
I will say it does have over 5 million downloads. Like, so maybe they just didn't vibe with the anime adaptation as much. Maybe the game itself is just everything and more, and I don't know. But This is the part where I say, man, I watched the first season of the anime, thought about picking up the app, and I was like, fuck that, dude. I did that for Love Live, ain't doing that for this.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that's Bang Dream for you. And I think a perfect prelude, because let me tell you, you kind of hit the nail on the head. Man, would this be a frustrating show for lesbians? But we're about to move into Pride Month, so I can't wait to start that next week.
Hey, happy Pride.
Yeah, and because this is going out literally the day before Pride, so I didn't fuck up this time, guys. I did it on purpose. I chose, as Rem put it, the frustrating lesbian show to be the perfect prelude. Because, I mean, let's be honest, that's probably a prelude to a lot of people's understanding of Pride. I guess the final question for you, Rem. Any chance you'd want to watch any more Bang Dream with me?
It's not a priority.
We'll have to see.
I won't be offended if it's on, but like...
And before the later seasons just get wildly political. But not in an obvious way. You have to kind of read between the lines.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But with that, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoy Remington living his Sugoi idol dreams, then please head on over to wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. And if that is still not enough for you, twitch.tv/anime out of context, where myself, Dylan, and Remington occasionally play video games very poorly. And I will say, I think I'm crushing it with the 2 streams a week thing at this point.
He's doing great, y'all.
Yeah, I even have a consistent schedule. Granted, when I start the streams, it's usually like 10 minutes later, but at least it's consistent enough that you know to expect that. So yeah, if you want to join me, come hang out with me every Thursday where I'm playing through every single Final Fantasy. And yes, I do mean like mainline Final Fantasy. Don't ask me to play the spin-offs. There are too many bad spin-offs. But if that is still not enough for you, patreon.com/anime out of context, where you gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So Rem, who are we thinking this week?
Yeah, I was waiting to be cute, and it just wasn't
look,
happening.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I saw something shiny and I got distracted. Quintessential,
you son of a bitch.
Quintessential ADHD moment. Literally, something flashed outside my window. I went to look to see what it was. You'll never guess. It was a car driving by.
The Pope is home. That's what that means, all right? The Pope is the shiny thing that caught his eye. That son of a bitch. All right. Well, as always, we would like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we get to our yandere waifus, who are being wildly affectionate, but we don't know what that means. And on that list, we have Yandere Neko, Wolfire56, Why Does Everything Want Banana Shaun? Where's our DBZ review, you ginger fuck? West K, Can't Shame Rem, he's the voice of the people, damn right. Week 13 of using my Patreon name to request code Geese. Watching Requiem for a Spoon Man at 0.5 speed. Variant, totally good. Titan CNH, the Susanator. The Opie Wrangler, formerly known as Mommy Milkers. The Danish Viking will conquer the world with Rono Zoro as my navigator. That time I reincarnated as a podcast host and forced to weeb. That smut has no place in Fairy Tale's 100 Girlfriends. Turban, Swaraj Verdi, Super Zoo, Stacy's mom. Show Rem Chobits so he can learn why weebs treat women as submissive virginal objects. What the fuck? That's an insane.
That is an
sentence.
insane statement, and to blame it only on Chobits? Like, don't get me wrong. I think Chobits is probably part of the problem, but I don't think you can put sole blame on it.
Shaun wants to give Spoon Man a thank and yank. Shaun's first egg fest, hashtag transgender Shaun.
I beg your pardon? Are they trying to...
Either I'm out of the loop or that's stolen valor, if I'm being honest. Though, hey, I could see... I think Shaun would be a perma egg, all right? I don't know... If he was an egg, which I'm not claiming is, but if he was, I don't think he's ever hatching. I think, unfortunately, to repress. To repress.
The Irish heritage is too strong in my blood. What?
Yeah, so I think that if Shaun's an egg, he's unhatchable. But I'm not, which I'm not claiming he is, but if
I'm gonna put it out there, definitely not.
Well, see, that's what you would say if you were an unhatchable egg, though, isn't it?
I guess, but trust me, folks. I've been in queer spaces a lot of my life, so I've done a lot of thinking myself. Trust me when I realize, I am just the boring white straight cisgender podcaster like that. Believe me, if I had an ounce of anything, we'd probably be more successful.
I think it was the Chinese philosopher Chuang-Tzu who said, "How do I know that I am a cisgender individual and not an unhatchable egg who refuses to acknowledge my transness?" So it really makes you think. Makes you think.
I understand.
Or he added later, a butterfly dreaming of being a cisgender individual. So
I'm glad that old school Chinese philosophers were able to really nail down these gender issues early on.
Look, a lot of sources who quote Chuangzi will cut out the first bit and only really focused on the latter half. But we all know what's up. Shaun's heir apparent. Shaun soaked the Pope to death while Rem watched. Shaun shoot your shot with girls 60% of the time. It works every time. Shaun ruined my happy sugar life when I, Remington Chase, will fully support what Red Pill Rollins will say on June 18th. I'm sorry, is Ron's planning an insurrection and I'm joining him on that? What the hell?
I don't think anything is happening on June 18th. The only thing that's happening on June 18th is me prepping to go on vacation June 19th.
Well, and I support you doing so, apparently. Shaun, quit soaking with my grandma, please. Shaun, I have completed 29 consecutive laps around the sun. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday. Shaun can't goon to the new Pope. It's not the same. Seraphim the Shark plushie. Shaun and Judy featuring the Pope's cuck casket. Ryan Moody. Ross Palmer. Riding on the struggle bus, not the muggle bus. Fuck JK.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously. Obviously.
Rhiannon Williams. Remington rimming and ramming a ton. Shaun not so. Remington is right. Rem, mind me, when do we record again?
Oh God, they mentioned that they were going to put me on blast for not my fault. It's not my fault.
I mean, they could be putting me on blast, or they're just putting us on blast. It's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Rem used the drums of liberation to free all weeps from bad anime. Rem saw Shaun fucking the Pope and had to delay. Rem, how dare you delay the episode, you heathen, says Miska. See, one person finally just straight up blaming me, as opposed to deliberately not blaming me, deliberately blaming you, or
vaguely blaming both of us.
Or vaguely blaming both of us, or saying it's my fault, but I had a good reason. Rem doesn't completely hate my favorite shows. Red Venom, Reed Keyhole, Dylan knows. Professor Fox, pro tips out of context, says run out of things to post, will come back soon. PJSK Addict encourages Alien Stage for Pride Month. Week 4 Paradise came out for my boy Ivan, and it's a bop. Paco Musico, never letting Rem forget about his vampire past. Mikeka 7 Hierto, Macaroni Chiza, Lucky Stars the King of Moe, Link Jokerl, Lidnerd 98, King Rich Rock, Katie, Cassidy, Jax, Jam Hands, Jake Dent. I'm making Rem say ethnic slurs until you bring back the Chef Musco tier, Shaun, you white cunt.
I don't think that's a slur. I think that's just calling me white and a cunt.
Hey, you said the word white before insulting them, and that becomes a slur. Is that how that goes?
Like, don't get me wrong, it's still like racially insensitive, I guess. But like
next week, you white bitch.
Again, I guess anything is a slur if you put enough slur into it. But like, I feel like you've run out, my man.
I will never get more Ace of the Diamond, now I cry. I took a wrong turn, do you know the way? I find your lack of cake disturbing, says Miska as she storms out of the costume party in her Darth Vader outfit. I can't believe I made an account for this. Gordon Ramsay's raw sausage. God. Glenn Michael Dolan. George Edward Bottom, aka Bear Trap. Rem tried to say Esperanto Pajaros. I think I did good for a first try. I think I did decent. Fern the Fern. Farmer Weeb wonders if wrestling just gets better if he only watched more than 10 episodes.
Fuck.
I will say, wrestling does indeed get better the more you watch of it, but that's more so just because you understand more of what's going on. Because it happens over real time, week to week. Which is, unironically, one of the most fascinating things about wrestling, because there's just not really... I'm struggling to think of any fictional medium that plays out in real time. Just like
the hit
week
crime
to week,
drama
month
series,
to month, year to year.
24.
Okay, well, first of all, stretching it, but second of all, that's I mean on a more macro scale, week to week, month to month, like a month of time is a month of time within the narrative.
When was the last time 24 was relevant?
I would say a year after the final episode released, perhaps.
I don't know if that's true.
I feel like it's mostly been... It's in the category of like, what was it, like Heroes or whatever, where it's just like, oh yeah, one of the shows from that generation. Like, unless you're lost, you don't exist anymore. You're not referenced anymore from that kind of generation of television.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It had 9 seasons and ran for nearly a decade.
Holy shit!
Yeah, last episode was in 2010.
24 had 9 seasons?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay, do I not actually or is each one each season a different day?
Correct.
What the fuck? I feel like that kinda that's insane to me. And
Oh,
also,
excuse me. Wait, hold on. Wait, no, that's the AI overview. You can't trust that shit. You cannot trust that shit.
I looked it up, and there are indeed 9 seasons and
Yep.
a movie.
Yep.
That's crazy. That is insane.
Yeah.
And it lasted until it lasted until 2010, then was revived in 2014 for one last season. That's crazy. And then also, look, here's my bone pick with 24. It's such a good concept. I don't think it lives up to the concept. I haven't watched all of it. Lord knows. I've only seen bits and pieces and seen video essays talk about it because that's how I consume media. But they don't seem to be super faithful to the concept in that it's not just like, hey, what could we do in an hour? And it's like, you fit multiple hours into each hour. Often.
Thank you for tuning into our 24 podcast, where we go through
We're two guys who have not watched all of 24.
Yeah, all 204 plus 24 redemption
Jesus
episodes.
Christ. That's insane. That I don't understand.
I think it was
why...
more prolific than we remember. Frem is the thing.
I think it was very prolific, but because once again, a lot of shows just went forever, and a lot of shows do go forever. But when it's over, people ain't talking about it, right? Like I would argue that 24 hasn't been relevant. Like I would say 2012 or so, and that's with the knowledge that Live Another Day, that season, came out in 2014. With the knowledge that there was a bit of a reboot or whatever the fuck it is, I don't think it was even relevant while it was doing that. I feel like it has largely left the cultural zeitgeist other than to be referenced in concept alone.
Well, you don't think people are referencing Jack Bauer on the reg?
No, they are not. It is only referenced as a concept anymore. Just similar, like, hey, Heroes, it's only referenced in terms of the writer's strike that fucked it. Like, that's...
God, it had such potential to be such a good show,
Sometimes you're just defined, your legacy is defined by just one thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Fantine, Erica McCorkle, Danielle Ray, Daddy Rem told me a bedtime story about Shaun's nut, Calderius, combing Rem's back hair for belly rubs later, Cheese Monkey, Butler Rat's Twitch hit affiliate, and I've been now been sitting, fixing stream stuff, and drawing emotes for 20 hours. Bustin' like 2-liter Rollins, yes, it's come. Rockhart for Geodudes, Rem EP time ruins recording session. Genuinely true. Just my sleep schedule's so bad, guys. It is so fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'll get it back on track, but it's always a temporary solution. Boring Siren, Blarf, Biden's prostate, Bento Kato, Amazing Muffin, Aisha Gudgy, a Moe piece of trash. And now we move on to the Boy Wizard tier. What are they going to get this week, Shaun?
I'm going to give them a J-pop band, because I feel like that's about as much effort as the show deserves. I'm sorry.
Right,
I'm sorry, Bang Dream fans. I'm sorry. I should watch the rest of the series before I judge too harshly. But I mean, again, the most 7 out of 10 show. Like
it is perfectly inoffensive, guys. Yes. It's just your friendly neighborhood Kami.
Let's start with the D's to be interesting. You're going to get D51.
Umbrasite.
D&D. No relation to the game, I assume.
Truck-kun operator number 42.
D-Date.
Tokyo Non is the regulation listener that listens to 100% Eat because it's morning somewhere, Blue Saint.
These next two are great. Da-Ice.
Tokyo Anon from Bandori It's My Go loves when Harukage gets played because it annoys Soyo-san.
And Remington's favorite, Da Pump.
Jesus. That Mouse Girl.
Dance for Philosophy.
Starting That Fate Grind.
Danceroid.
Spoonman the Aristocrat.
Day After Tomorrow. That's a movie.
Silent Secondary. Silent Secondary.
Dear Kiss.
Scourge has Mitsuka and an IRL girlfriend now.
Dempagumi Inc.
Sammy K sincerely hopes Shaun likes his hot dogs Chicago style. Hashtag Pope Soak 2025.
I still don't like hot dogs. Devil Anthem.
Roscop.
Dicot.
Rem would enjoy Vash's Trigun as much as Shaun enjoys the Pope. Is that how these are done? ? Still drunk. Yay!
Dish.
Rem treats Shaun like the Vaporeon he is.
I mean, hey, they're honest with this one. Diva.
Power Cell begs Shaun to stop soaking in his low bunny. He sells a couple gym badges he needs to earn.
DJ Ozma.
Nurikaza, hashtag SONR, soaking one nut Rollins.
Do as Infinity.
Monogatari is everything you ever said you want in an anime. This week, the MC has one bad character trait, but he knows.
Dozy T.
Mike.
Domoto Koichi.
Miguel DeLeon.
Domoto Tsuyoshi.
I'd like to start a petition to replace the word brat with kudere.
Dream Morning Musume.
It is now May, and Shaun is yet to show Rem Bang Dream it's my go because he's afraid of Mortis claiming his soul. We're, hey, halfway there, you know?
Well, like a fifth of the way there, really.
And then really, if you're doing it by episode count, like a million miles away.
Yep.
But we're we've
baby steps.
Entered the right city.
Yes.
The right city.
Yeah, it's like saying like, man, this content creator lives in LA. Oh, you don't say too much, you'll dox them.
Yeah.
They can have DRM. God, that's an unfortunate name for a band.
I demand you to show me Bandori. It's my go. Otherwise, I will play Harikage again and again and again and again and again.
Not the best name. Moving on to the E's, you get E-Girls.
Mitsumi will have more to swallow Shaun's soul, never to return unless he shows Rem Bandori. It's my go.
Ebichu.
Hidden Otaku.
Eito.
D.
Empire.
Carver 271.
Emily spelled with a Y.
Beethoven 1201.
Etorie.
Beagle Boy wants One Piece on episode 400.
Etsuko Yakushimaru.
Allfather wishes the community happy Pride Month. This week's anime will be the first for Pride, so it better be good, Shaun. Hey, this one isn't. This one, not quite.
Yeah.
Not quite.
No, not quite. Check the release date.
Next one.
5/31, motherfucker. You get U space Phoria.
Titaro getting fisted by Poseidon makes most forget days.
You can have fairies.
Oh, and now we move on to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where I, as Joey Wheeler, will give a genre of music, and Shaun, as Joey Wheeler, will sing just the first Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in that style of music.
Are you trying to get me to kill myself?
So, to summarize, you will be Joey Wheeler. It's just Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, just that line. You'll be singing in the styles I give you. All right, it'll be great. We start with Shaun. When it comes to doggy style, I'm 100% enthusiastically behind you.
Christ.
I'm gonna give Shaun a country once again as Joey Wheeler. Country, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Go.
I hate you. Okay. Yee-haw, twinkle, twinkle, little star.
The problem is, like, a country accent and Joey Wheeler's accent
don't mix. They don't mix.
At all.
You don't mix East Coast with the South. There was a war over that, damn it.
Next up, we have Remington. You bitch, why are you recording late? Too busy gooning to Shaun and the Pump Soak tape. Shame on you. And you are gonna get hip-hop.
It's like you're trying to pick the music genres I am least confident in.
I love it. I was tempted to say reggae, but I'm avoiding that one.
Hey, you know what? Not getting canceled seems pretty good to me. Okay, resisting all urge to say yo-yo.
God damn it.
Look, man, when you watch a lot of anime and they make bits about rapping, that's how they always start it, and
It is how they always started.
Yeah. So it's like, that's my instinct for a comedy bit. Okay, but I should not do that. So, how the fuck do I do that? Okay, alright, fine. I'll just do it at a slightly different beat. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. And then if Dylan wants to put, like, some auto-tune shit over that, he can. Then, like, make it one of those, like the worst version of rap, so I at least feel less bad about fucking that up.
Oh my god. Oh, alright. And last but not least, we have follow anime outtakes on Blue Sky. When Shaun not remember what day he records Spot 2. And of course on the Blue Sky, this week's anime is a reference to what Shaun frequently does to Judy and Leo. Good stuff. You are.
It was a mistake to lose that account name.
The genre you get is gonna be musical theater.
Okay, so one that I'm confident in, but have massive mental trauma over. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
I can feel the jazz hands, which is real good.
I'm glad I was doing jazz hands. I was actually fully doing jazz hands. I'm glad.
I felt it.
Like the only thing that stopped me from doing the full like lean hand forward pose was the fact that I was sitting down in front of my microphone.
Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to reach out for a comment, question, feedback, or a recommendation, then you can send an email over to anime@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do.
You're going to get D's. Guys,
Hey, fuck my ass and call me Daddy Rem, my little peg champ.
could you please not make me think about either eating or fucking Big Bird's big pussy?